Is in the, it's the word, and it's there, it's going to happen, whether we like it or not. Some of it we may not like, but the fact of the matter is this, and I know this because I've been on both sides, as you know. I was in the minority conference, I was in the majority conference, and I was cut out in redistricting as a result of partisan bickering. They cut Yonkers into a couple pieces and actually put me and Cecile Singer in the same district. That's the type of nonsense that sometimes takes place in both houses, with both parties. So, you know what? There are a couple of reforms I think would go a long way. Number one, term limiting the leadership positions in both houses. That would help out quite a bit. Because I think that while I don't agree with term limits for the legislators specifically, but I do agree that if you term limit the leadership, you'll move the talent around and you'll be able to get new ideas, and you'll also have member empowerment. Give the legislators, each legislator should get the same staff allotment. Each legislator should have the ability to hire, if they have a committee chair, to hire their own committee people and not be hired by the party leaders in the institution. Each leader, each member, whether you're Republican or Democrat, should be allowed to put a bill onto the floor for consideration by the entire House. These are the type of partisan bickering that has been going on for years. I continue to fight against that, and I will in the future.
Thank you. Mr. Paul.
Well, listen, 14 years proves you can't do it. I already explained to you how I would do it, as Greg Ball did it. What I said is we need a referendum. We should become a referendum state, so if you don't like the way Mike Spano's been doing 14 years and you don't want to wait for another election and you're antsy, you should be able to bring a referendum on. And it should just be a signature-produced referendum with nobody's benediction on it. And we can change things that way. I think Mike Spano says a lot of nice things, but how disingenuous that he sold his soul to Sheldon Silva, who sucks the life out of Yonkers by keeping us hitched to Con Ed, when we could be New York Power and Light, and it's only a legislative thing. Mike Spano also tells you that there's formulas and he dances around how taxes are spent and collected. And what he fails to continue to mention to you is that he votes for the system that takes lifeblood away from Yonkers. He said at another place earlier tonight that what we don't have in tax cap is because of the way the law is. We'll change the law. That's where he is. He's been there for 14 years. He used to whine how he couldn't get anything done as a Republican, and now he's proud of what he doesn't do as a Democrat. Go figure. Thank you. Vote for me to get change.
Thank you. We will now go to closing statements, and we will go in reverse order of opening statements. So, Mr. Spano, you may be first.
Thank you. And again, I want to say thank you to the league, certainly for all of you who have come out here tonight. The good thing is no baseball game, so I'm glad to see that everyone was able to come. And you know, there's a lot that has been said. Many of you know me. Some of you may know my opponent, heard my opponent. But I mean, and there are probably there's certainly a number of inconsistencies I could point to with what he said. It's just some of it's just not true. And you know, I was trying to find a newspaper where the governor has said that he was supportive of his bill to drill. I know that my opponent has said that he found oil in the sound while scuba diving, and whether it's there or not, I guess remains to be seen. But that being said, we're going through some real difficult times, and I think that it's important to go back to the beginning. The beginning is you want to make sure that you have someone representing you who understands the everyday struggles that we in Yonkers have to face. Yes, some of it's being treated fairly by the state government. And you know that this year when the mayor came to Albany and he asked me as the leader of the Yonkers delegation to fight for $50 million of additional aid, both municipal aid and education aid. We stepped up to the plate. You know what? We delivered 48 of that $50 million he was looking for. We avoided 500 municipal employee cuts. That's the type of leadership that we need. We need someone who's going to make sure that time and time again that this person is looking out for the residents of the city of Yonkers. I will continue to do that. I'll continue to fight for a quality education for all of our children. I will continue to make sure that we fight provide for additional tax for starting, but more importantly, a tax cap that the Yonkers residents, that the residents of Yonkers will get the benefit on versus the tax cap that he wants to support that basically gives a benefit to everyone outside Yonkers but not Yonkers.
Thank you. Mr. Faulkner.
You know, again, to quote somebody, words, just speeches. You heard it again, there wasn't a solution in there. You heard an accusation that apparently I was mining for oil while scuba diving. Fortunately, everything's been taped just about. So if that's true, I'm sure Mike Spano can bring it out. What I did say is while the period of time that I was on the Sound, I was running a scuba diving boat. I was also a licensed master to bring the scuba divers out. That there was much talk of the oil down there. And it was President Clinton that said, if you think you can talk about it, you can't if you're from the federal government. Just don't talk about it anymore. This is when the EPA and the Sierra Club and everybody was putting a lot of pressure to save the lobsters, which goes through a cyclical downing, and there's very few in there now. But anyway, what I can do for you, I can change the law. What I can do for you, I can bring tax relief. I can bring it instantly. What Governor Patterson did is he said in the newspaper 6 days ago that he is pushing forward to have oil leases, or gas leases rather, in Sullivan County. And that's what it said in the newspapers. That's what Governor Patterson wants. That's what Mike Spano doesn't believe. But we don't have to stop there. We don't have to be a Democrat that doesn't go all the way. We can sell the oil leases wherever we want before the federal government gets in there and takes that right away again. I got 30 seconds, so I'm going to not waste it. I'm going to tell you, all life is sacred. Your taxes can come down if you vote for me. And the way we change it is by bringing it to the people and not showing up every 2 years like Mike does. Thanks a lot.
Want to remind you, I hope that you have learned a lot tonight, that you've had a lot of your concerns and questions answered. But for more information, you can go to the League's website, smartvoter.org, and learn about your candidates or pick up a voter's guide. Just want to remind everybody, be sure to vote on November 4th and take a couple of friends with you. Thank you all for coming and participating.